So let's talk about the actual whispered R now. Well, some people find them terribly embarrassing to do, some young people particularly. They won't even consider doing them. And of course, the whispered R there's quite a lot in setting it up. I always talk about setting it up because it sounds fairly straightforward, you know. You give your directions, you give preventive thoughts to your head, neck and back, and then you put the tip of your tongue forward to touch the lower part, the upper part of the lower two front teeth, and then you think of something funny to smile, and then you drop the jaw, and then you say the R. And of course there are a lot of misunderstandings in those words, because I did have a lady once who only heard part of it, and she heard the word back regarding the teeth, and she was trying to put the tip of her tongue on her back teeth, which was quite an achievement if she and then the upper part of the lower two front teeth, you hear the word upper, so they're putting the tip of the tongue against their upper teeth. Well, you can't say an R if your tongue's up there. So there are all those hang-ups. I mean, I usually, this isn't a rude gesture, but I say, now there are the two lower front teeth. The tip of the tongue has got to come just at the top, not down by the gums, not on top, but just the top of the lower two front teeth. And the tongue going forward like that opens the back of the throat out slightly. I mean, I explained to people also that the tongue, as we were hearing from Michael McCallion, should normally just rest in the lower jaw, ready for action. But of course, a lot of people fidget with their tongue. Oh, going like that, chewing it sometimes. People do the most extraordinary things with their tongues. You never see them do it because you're never looking at them, but they do extraordinary things with their tongues. And so you've got the tip of the tongue against the upper part of the lower two front teeth. And then the question comes, you're going to say an R. Now, you explain to people you're not going to say the letter R. That's the confusion. You have to explain that it's the letter AH, and you're not going to say R, but you're going to whisper that sound. And so how are you going to say it? So people say, oh, well, all right then. And they raise the chest up and they force the air out, and that's no good. So how are you going to tell people when to do it? Well, I tend to say, well, you've just got to decide to say it. You can say, monitor your breathing, notice the breath going in and out, and when the breath comes in, say the R, you see. So that may work. Or you can just say to people, don't take a special breath, don't get ready by taking a special breath, but just make the decision to say the R, and we'll see what happens. And that's not too bad. And then, of course, people say the R, and then they think they're going to say another R, so they hold their breath ready to do the next R, which is not what one wants. So the whole thing is a sort of minefield of things going wrong, but you've got to sort of be supportive and encourage people to have a go. And then we come to what's going to happen here. Let's go back first of all to the smile, because we've forgotten about the smile. Now, Alexander always considered the smile to be the most important part of the whispered R. I don't think that he would have completely dismissed it without a smile, because I know I do whispered R's in the middle of the night. One of the problems of getting older is you don't sleep through the night as well as you did when you were younger. So you can wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking, oh my God, I've got to give that workshop on Sunday. What for God's sake am I going to say? And your mind starts going over and over. But I find that if you can persevere with doing whispered R's, it calms you down and you go back to sleep. I'm not saying if If it was something of terrible import, I mean, much worse than giving a workshop, but if something very, very awful, like some ghastly illness that someone nearest and dearest to you, obviously it wouldn't be so easy. It wouldn't probably work so well. But I find with fairly mundane matters, you can calm yourself down, because what happens when you wake up in the middle of the night and you've got something on your mind is that the adrenaline level begins to rise.